How long are you willing to wait for a game to finally click? Rogue Trader tested that patience more than I expected, and for a while, I wasn't even sure it was worth it. Welcome back to the Asari Gamer, where we explore the art of video games one game at a time. As always, we'll look at this game through the lens of storytelling, world building, visual design, audio and atmosphere, and personal enjoyment. Having played another Owlcat game, Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, I went into Rogue Trader expecting a slow start. And I wasn't wrong. No matter how you play, heretical, iconoclast, dogmatic, or somewhere in between, the opening hours move at a deliberate pace, and that's because the story has a lot of heavy lifting to do. You're not just learning characters, you're navigating political crisis, internal conflict, external threats, and an entire universe of lore that the game expects you to understand. Because of that, the storytelling has to be slow, otherwise it would be overwhelming. But once all those pieces are in place, the story finally starts to move, and when it does not hold back. For me, that turning point was recruiting Maritsai. Suddenly, the tone shifts. The story gets darker, more unpredictable, and a lot more interesting. I found myself wanting to see just how far Rogue Trader would let me push things, and the answer is pretty darn far. If you lean into that path, go heretical, explore that storyline, even pursue the Maritsai romance, the game commits fully. It doesn't pull its punches, and that's where Rogue Trader's storytelling really shines. As I mentioned, Rogue Trader brings in a lot of lore to support its world, but the visuals are doing just as much work. This isn't a clean or orderly universe. It's one that feels used. You'll walk past burned out tanks still sitting where they fell, massive parades celebrating power and control, crowded market stalls selling everything from food to weapons, sometimes right next to each other. And then, in contrast, you have moments of absurd luxury, like the enormous private quarters on your ship, complete with a bathtub that feels completely out of place in a universe like this. That contrast is what makes the world building work. It's not just showing you a setting, it's showing you how the society functions. Wealth and decay exist side by side. Power is everywhere, and so is the cost of it. Even the smaller environments like the sewers or lower districts feel intentional, like they exist because of the systems above them, not separate from them. And once the story finally finds its footing, all of that visual groundwork starts to pay off. The world stops feeling overwhelming and starts feeling real. I'm not going to lie, Rogue Trader throws a lot at you visually. Between character builds, inventory, cargo, gear, planetary maps, and even full system navigation, there's constantly something on screen. And in a lesser design, that would be overwhelming. But here's the surprising part, it never really is, because underneath all that complexity, the visual design is actually very clean. Information is structured in a way that makes sense. Menus are layered logically, and most importantly, your eye is always guided to what matters. You're not fighting the interface, you're learning from it. And that's a big difference. It allows the game to be dense without feeling chaotic, which is incredibly important for a CRPG like this. So while Rogue Trader asks a lot from the player, visually, it does a great job of supporting you along the way. The music in Rogue Trader leans heavily into that industrial, religious Warhammer aesthetic. You'll get these massive orchestral swells, followed immediately by full-on heavy metal. And it absolutely fits the world. This is a universe built on excess, intensity, and constant pressure, and the music reflects that perfectly. But from a gameplay perspective, it was a bit much for me. During combat especially, I found myself turning the music down just so I could think. Heavy metal and strategy don't always mix. That said, the rest of the audio design lands exactly where it should. Warp travel has weight to it, gunfire feels impactful, and the ambient sound design does a great job reinforcing the scale of everything around you. And even the music, while overwhelming at times, feels intentional. This isn't a calm or controlled universe. It's loud, chaotic, and constantly pressuring you. So needing to carve out a little mental space to think doesn't feel like a flaw. It feels like it's part of the experience. When Rogue Trader finally finds its footing, I really did love it. For me, a lot of that came down to Maritsai. his presence, his influence, and how the world reacts to both him and your choices. That's when the game became genuinely compelling. But getting to that point took time. A lot of time. And patience isn't exactly my strongest trait. In games like Elden Ring or other Souls titles, patience is part of the design. You're meant to learn, adapt, and improve. Rogue Trader asks for that same patience, just in a very different way. You're not learning boss patterns. You're waiting for the game to fully come together, and for me, that was a challenge. Adding to that were some technical issues. I ran into multiple glitches and crashes on console that forced me to restart and replay sections just to get back to where I was. And that kind of interruption really breaks immersion in a game like this. So while there's a lot here that I genuinely admire, it does come with some friction. Rogue Trader rewards your patience, but it absolutely demands for it in return. And because of that, it lands at a 4 out of 5 for me. The storytelling, world building, visual design, and audio and atmosphere are all incredibly strong. But your experience with this game is going to depend on how long you're willing to stick with it, and how smoothly it runs while you do. Rogue Trader isn't a game that wins you over quickly. But if you give it the time it asks for, there's something genuinely impressive waiting underneath. The question is, how much patience are you willing to give a game before you walk away? I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoy thoughtful looks at the art and design of video games, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and join me next time as we explore another world through the lens of art.